I'm super hyped to do this one. It is 10 awesome social distancing games that you can play in your section. Here we go. So what games can we play that doesn't take much time, much effort, and more importantly, more equipment? Let's start with the first one, human table football. We've all seen it. You've probably seen it in a carnival. You link arms out straight like that, but instead of touching hands, you either hold a swimming noodle, you know, the long noodles that you get, foam noodles, or you can use a bit of rope, put a long rope and everyone holds on to one bit, keeping that 2 meter distance, or things like PVC piping. Everyone stays in that long line and plays the football, kicks it. Exactly, you know how to play table football, but we're playing it the human way. A game I love to play in the Scout Hall, this is crab football, but we're going to put a twist on it. This is called glue crab football. They are stuck in one spot. Okay, so either mark out on the floor a box area or a hula hoop or something like that, and the young person cannot get off that spot. Okay, so therefore we're creating some social distancing around us. They can't move around, they hit each other, and it's exactly the same rules as crab football. Everyone goes back on their back, aim in like a crab, and kicks the ball using only their foot. Okay, so we don't touch the ball with our hands at all, so therefore eliminating a bit of more risk down. So yeah, crab football, but you're stuck in one position. Number 3 is the alphabet game. We normally play this around the campfire. We actually play it at home at the dinner table with the kids. It's the alphabet game. So A to Z, you've got to think of a theme, such as fruits or famous people or, I don't know, countries, and you work down the letters A to Z. So if we're doing fruits, we would do apple, banana, citrus fruits, D, D, can't think of it. Eggplant. And that's the vegetable. But you know what I mean. So that's a really good game, the A to Z game. Number 4 on social distance games that you can play is Scavenger Hunt. We've done it on Zoom for 1 year. Let's do it for real. Back face-to-face scouting, playing Scavenger Hunt. So whether you're in your hut, you're in the park, tell them they've got to find 5 items beginning with the letter G or whatever. So they'll find a bit of blade of grass. They could find a grasshopper. You know how to play a Scavenger Hunt. Just play it for real. So Battleships, this will take a bit of prep, okay? Just like our normal Battleships game that we would play, let's strung up a bit of tarp between wall to wall or kind of a tree to tree so the teams can't see each other, and mark out on the floor a grid, or you can just put cones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down there and then down the back. Then each young person would sit in a position on those coordinates, and just like we would normally play on paper, the other team will shout out 1A, and then if that person's sitting in 1A, they get blown up and they're out. Battleships, good game to play. Even before social distancing, we were playing that game at Scouts. The tent jumping game. So my scout group is apparently the only scout group that plays this in the district. My DC has said he has never seen this game played ever again. I was told it when I joined 13 years ago. So you get a whole load of wooden pegs, line them down the scout hall or down the park at different distancing, and a bit like long jump. So you would take a run up, then you have to jump 1 foot in between those spaces of those tent pegs. And if you touch the tent peg, you're out. Young leaders can run it, make the tent pegs either close or quite far away. Yeah, it's a really good challenging game. And then as people get knocked out, the rounds come, you change the tent pegs to make them bigger, wider, closer, whatever. It's really good. Remember, you touch the tent peg, you're out, and only 1 foot in between the space. Right, next game, we've played it probably since we're the age of 3, all those birthday parties. Simon Says. So you can change it to your scout leader name, whether you're Skip, Arcala, whatever your beaver leader name is. Shout those instructions, and if they move, they're out. You know how to play Simon Says. So blind volleyball. So it's a bit like Battleships, where you're going to strung up a bit of tarp between the walls of the hall or between the trees. 2 teams sit opposite each other. With that ball, boom, we're going to hit it with our foot, headbutt it, not allowed to use your hands, so you might have to elbow it. We don't know when that ball is coming over because we can't see the other team. It will just be a surprise. Get that ball over, headbutt it, or replace the ball with a water bomb. Who's going to get soaked? Right, one more to go. We got number 9 right now. Wink Murder, classic birthday game. You've probably played it around the campfire as well. If you haven't, you sit around in a circle, social distancing, of course. Someone is the murderer who winks across. You can't really see it in these glasses, can you? Dodgy wink, and the person who's outside comes back in and's got to guess the Wink Murder. I think that's how you play it, isn't it? Maybe I'm playing it wrong. I can't remember how you play Wink Murder. Comment below. How do you play Wink Murder? My mind's gone blank. Last but not least, on the top 10 social distance games that you can play. This is a really fun one. We often play it when we're at camp, sat around the campfire after dinner. The storytelling game, okay? So millions of different ways that you can play this. It's basically a continuation story game, yeah? So each person in my scout group says 3 words. They say those 3 words, then it passes on to the next person sitting next to them, and it goes around the campfire circle, trying to make some sort of random story. But you're only allowed to say 3 words. So I would say, one day there, then it gets passed on to the next person, and they might say, one day there was a big, scary dog who then went for... You know how it goes. I love that game, just to get a bit of communication going. Yeah, and it's a really fun one just to get like, what? So there you go. There's my 10 social distancing games that you can play all over your sections. Have a great time getting back face-to-face scouting. Don't forget, subscribe to Big Man in the Woods. Click that notification bell and watch this playlist here. It's all about scouting. Take care, my friends.